Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to dismantle a massive trap that so many maintenance managers, plant operators, and business leaders fall into every single day. We've all been there, right? A core process is totally broken. Your teams are inefficient, the backlogs are just piling up to the ceiling. So what's our instinctive reaction? We go out and buy a shiny, incredibly expensive new software package, a CMMS. We think it's going to be a magic wand. We just assume that simply computerizing our operations will automatically fix all our underlying planning problems. But as we're about to see from our source material today, that assumption is a huge, and let me tell you, a very expensive myth.
Consider this quote, "Doing something wrong is faster with a computer." I really want to hook you immediately with this, because you need to let that sink in for a second. It directly challenges all our preconceived notions about technology miraculously fixing broken processes. Think about it. If your underlying manual process is flawed, disjointed, or just plain messy, putting it into a computer doesn't magically fix the flaw. It simply executes that exact same flaw at lightning speed. It's not a solution, it's an accelerator. If your maintenance planning is completely disorganized on paper, I guarantee you it is going to be an absolute disaster in the cloud.
Our source handbook establishes what we can confidently call the golden rule of maintenance management. It states, and I quote, "If you do not know how to do something without a computer, doing it with a computer will not help. First learn planning, then computerize." Now, it sounds incredibly simple, almost too basic, right? But it's completely ignored in practice. People tend to think the software itself is the planning, but the handbook clearly warns us against this. You absolutely have to be able to visualize a working paper system first. You must thoroughly understand the principles of planning with physical folders and paper work orders well before you even try to make sense of how a computer might actually help your team.
To really grasp why this hierarchy of learning is so absolutely crucial, let's move right into Section 1, the calculator principle, comparing a CMMS to manual planning.
This brilliantly illustrates the core dynamic at play. Think about a CMMS. For all its bells and whistles, it's essentially just a calculator. Manual planning, on the other hand, represents the foundational math, learning to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. You would never hand a scientific calculator to someone who doesn't understand basic arithmetic and expect them to suddenly know how to do complex algebra, right? It makes absolutely no sense. Now, a computer definitely gives us more capabilities. It allows operators, engineers, and managers to access work orders remotely, sort data instantly for specific outages, and it tabulates costs effortlessly without sifting through massive paper files. But you have to remember, those benefits are just accelerations of an existing, functioning process. They are not the leverage of planning itself. The math has to come first.
So, if the software is just a calculator, what is the actual manual math really doing for us? Well, let's look at Section 2, the 157% multiplier and the power of proper planning. The crucial point really comes down to this stark statistic, 157%. This represents the sheer leverage of proper manual planning. Good planning doesn't just make things a little bit smoother around the edges. It drastically and fundamentally multiplies the effectiveness of your workforce. It increases productivity by an astonishing 157%. That is the true power of the planning process itself, taking place well before any software application is even turned on or a single login is created. Let's break down what that actually means on the ground for a facility. If you take a team of 30 technicians working without proper planning, and then you implement true, disciplined planning principles, you effectively transform those 30 technicians into the equivalent of 47 technicians. That is literally 17 extra people worth of productivity, purely from getting the planning right. But here is where management so often loses their sense of perspective. They look at investing in a CMMS and think, oh, great, this software is going to replace 2 clerks who are currently entering work orders or typing up preventative maintenance schedules. They end up focusing on incredibly minor administrative savings instead of aiming for this massive transformation in workforce capacity. The computer system should be viewed as a tool to help you reach and maintain the top of that percentage increase, not just as a way to replace a couple of typists. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, but surely having a massive, centralized database makes organizing all this work foolproof, right? It kind of forces people into a structure. Well, let's explore that reality in Section 3, the drill-down dilemma, live systems versus reality. Let's walk through a very common path to failure to see exactly how easily things go wrong in a digital menu. In theory, every work order is tagged with a component-level asset number, but in gritty reality, a user starts at a broad system level, something like N02-FC. They're supposed to carefully drill down to find the exact pump,
but they get distracted or confused, they miss a branch, and boom. They end up filing a work request for the wrong asset entirely, like N03-CP-AR5, which actually happens to sit on a completely different Steam unit. Just like that, the precision we thought we bought with the software totally vanishes due to simple human interface error.
And our source actually provides undeniable visual proof of these exact failures. Imagine starting from the top company level, going down to N plant, then Unit 2, then Branch F, and finally into FC. What happens all the time is these errant choices. A user writing a new work request starts clicking through the hierarchy, and then they just stop. They stop right at the system level. They select FC, the system itself, without drilling down further to the specific strainers, pumps, or valves below it. Because of this, the plant ends up effectively filing work orders by the broad system level. This completely ruins the ability to support planning for practical work order retrieval later on, because if you don't have the specific component tagged, you simply can't track the history of that specific asset. It's lost in the digital void.
So the crucial point here is acknowledging the stark difference between a controlled demonstration and everyday reality. When you're sitting in a boardroom and a vendor shows you a prototype system with maybe 100 or so assets, navigating these drill-down menus is a total breeze. It's super easy. It's intuitive. But a live plant system with 15,000 assets, that becomes incredibly unwieldy, very fast. The sheer volume of branches and sub-branches practically guarantees that users will get lost if the underlying discipline of component-level tracking isn't already deeply ingrained in your plant's culture. You just can't rely on the software interface to magically force good habits if those habits don't already exist in the real world.
This brings our narrative to a fundamental realization about the people actually doing this vital work behind the scenes. Section 4, Planners as Clerks and the Accurate Filing Process. We really need to redefine the ultimate goal of the maintenance planner. Our source defines a planner as serving to a large degree as a file clerk who needs unique equipment numbers for an accurate filing and retrieval process. Now, I know it doesn't exactly sound glamorous, but it is the absolute truth. Even when you implement a multi-million-dollar CMMS, the core of the planner's job remains exactly the same as if they were maintaining a massive wall of manila folders. The entire system completely relies on having unique numbers for specific equipment so that historical information can be filed and retrieved instantly when planning future work. Now, yes, using the master plan area within a typical computer system definitely helps. Planners can update job plans at the end of a job much more easily, and it physically stops them from just blindly copying past work orders. Nonetheless, those master job plans absolutely must be anchored with exact component-level identification. Do not be unnecessarily eager to abandon the strict filing mentality of a paper file system, because if you do, your shiny digital system just becomes a much faster way to lose critically important information.
Which leads us to the ultimate question you have to ask yourself, and the final thought I want to leave you with today. Look closely at your own operations and ask, is your software amplifying your success, or is it just accelerating your mistakes? Remember, the computer is just a tool. It is the calculator, not the math. It is the filing cabinet, not the file clerk. Before you blame the software you currently have, or before you go out and spend a small fortune buying another system, take a really hard look at your manual processes. If your paper system wouldn't work, your digital system won't either. First learn planning, then computerize. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a sharper, more focused perspective on how to evaluate the operational technology in your own workplace.